Game 7 regardless, though. Regardless of the map. It's always exciting, and here we go. Kasva against MarineLorD, Hill and Dale, and we've got both players playing as the Abbasid. So we'll see if they both try and go for that more boomy approach, or if there will be some sort of 1TC play. If there was going to be, I would expect Kasva to be the one to do it.
Yeah, I can see that being a thing. Casva seemed like he was the player that wants to go for these more aggressive builds at the beginning. But I think that on this map, your meta is still that 2TC boom into the Man-at-Arms Springboards gameplay. I feel like the mind game element might come into play at Castle Age. So maybe you're expecting Springboards and Man-at-Arms, so you go something like Lancers yourself. I can see an idea like that work out. Kasva is down south in red, and MarineLorD is up north in blue.
Okay, so both players building up pretty standard here for the Abbasid. Neither player opting to go for the berries yet. Staying on sheep for the time being, right out to the gold, and we should see the House of Wisdom added quite soon.
Indeed, you're going to drop that at the first possible occasion. Very standard opening so far by MarineLorD, so it is from Casva, so no surprise just yet. Let's look at the maps real quick though. We have 2 small gold mines on top of the hill for MarineLorD, whereas for Casva, one of his small gold mines on the hill is very much on the front. That could be a bit of a problem. On the other hand, he has to consider himself very happy with the relics. That's 4 right next to his own hill.
Yep. Yeah, and only 1 nearby for MarineLorD. If they choose to go for that, MarineLorD almost has his House of Wisdom up. Kasva the same. Very similar builds for both players. Not really much of a difference, other than the fact that MarineLorD has gone to wood a little bit earlier than Kasva.
Indeed. There is very, very small discrepancy in these build orders. So usually you are seeing the very same thing. Slight differences can be found in when you send your villagers to stone or wood, but in the end, your goal is still the same. 2 town center boom with the fresh foodstuffs upgrade and economy wing.
Okay, MarineLorD is up, and Kasva is up just a little bit ahead of him. Very similar for both players. MarineLorD is now going for the stone, so he's planning on adding extra TCs here in age number 2. And Kasva is just now going out to wood and has not gone out to stone, so maybe thinking about a more aggressive play.
It's possible. The question really here is what type of aggressive play you're going for, because in Feudal Age, I don't think that you can do a lot of damage. Your opponent can wall himself off rather easily. Although, oftentimes, because this is so much of a meta to go 2TCs, players don't even bother walling themselves, so you might surprise your opponent with a couple of horsemen. But I would still think that in Feudal Age you can do a lot of damage, so I'm thinking more about a Castle Age approach, like Fast Castle could be an option for Casva if he wants to get army out a little faster.
There is an opportunity there, though. With MarineLorD adding that second TC, he is going to stall out on any military production, and obviously Abbasid get the ability to build a siege for free instead of researching it in the blacksmith. So there's potential for Kasva to have some damage on an early push. Definitely a time window on that.
Yeah, there's a massive time window indeed. He could try an archer spearman push, and he pulled all villagers away from gold, so that's still an option. Although I feel like for that you probably even need a forward barracks and a range.
Yeah, you need it already. Yeah, you definitely need the spearman production already.
Yeah, but as you
He
said,
does not have.
Kasva is not on stone yet, so looks like it's going to be 1TC build, but this is just already too late for a Feudal Age aggression, because the Abbasid save so much food with their 2TC boom that their Castle Age timing is not that bad. So if you're just now starting to prepare for any kind of Feudal Age push, you're already too late, and yeah, that range from Kasva, the second TC will be up for MarineLorD by the time the archers arrive, and it's going to be very difficult to do damage.
Structure count, Kasva looks like he will be at 8 structures. going towards his golden age, and MarineLord's going to be sitting at 6, so he needs to add a few more, but he's going for that town center at the back on the deer, and he'll connect that with a few buildings and then get up to golden age, presumably within the next minute.
Indeed. That town center is interesting because it's right on the hunt, which is great, but it's pretty far from the berries, and it's pretty far from the gold. I would have thought that it's better to place it close to the gold so it protects it, and then you just walk a little bit more to the hunt.
See, I mean, Kasva is now tier 1 golden age. Meanwhile, MarineLord is still at only 6 structures. So Kasva is going to have a little bit of a more efficient eco, and MarineLord has to spend some time building that TC too. So eco at the beginning, a little bit better for Kasva as he sends the archers forward. And will he be here in time to deny this wall? It looks like he will be at this point.
Yeah, it's possible, and that would be a nice retaliation for the first game where MarineLord was just able to stop those walls. In the end, Casva was able to get them up, but as you said, these archers are coming in here, and this could be a nasty surprise over here for MarineLord, who's got a completely defenseless wood line.
Yep, Kasva sits on the foundation there. MarineLord unable to finish that wall. He's coming over with the scout now. But there is a scout coming forward from Kasva, and he has 2 archers, so MarineLord's going to have to abandon that wood line, abandon that stone at the front, and fall back further into his base. He's still not even on tier 1 of his golden age.
Yeah, this is a problem for MarineLord, although he's going to react with a stable. And here's the deal. When players started playing this map first, it was always, okay, full wall, and then boom. And then people started realizing that the opponent is also just booming, so I might as well not even wall. But it can backfire in some cases like this one, and MarineLord seemed to be caught off guard by this approach.
Well, just probably 10 seconds too late, right? Didn't have that time, but he has managed to wall the far left and the far right. So if he ever secures the front of his base, he can be purely safe if he finishes that wall at front. However, at the moment, he's going to be reacting to the pressure from Kasva, and just with horsemen currently.
Now, the horsemen, with the new buff, they do have 1 base pierce armor, so they're more efficient against archers here. I think at this point you just want to play this one patiently and safely. The TCs prevent the archers from pushing very deep. They just want to mass those horsemen. And behind this one you still have 2 town centers, so you already have 34 villagers for MarineLord, and Kasva is only at 29, so clock is ticking for Kasva.
Kasva with quite a few archers there. 13 archers on the field. Only 3 horsemen so far for MarineLord. He's got another one in the queue, but he is building up villagers behind this. So MarineLord with 36 villagers. Kasva sitting at 30. However, MarineLord still hasn't gotten tier 1 golden age, Lita. As someone who enjoys Abbasid, this is really kind of starting to trigger me a little bit.
Yeah, that's very frustrating because that's a 10% getter rate boost on all resources. That's like a free eco upgrade. And the thing is that he only needs 1 house to connect that town center to that house of wisdom. He gets a stable up that's now connected, so he's just 1 house away.
There's the ram from Kasva. However, he's busy building it, and the horsemen are going to come in to attack the archers. He wants to finish that ram. He has 1 spearman here, but didn't quite notice in time.
Oh, that hurts so much. Now, 2nd spearman on the way. These are just Dark Age spearmen, no hardened ones, but this might be enough to finish the ram. And MarineLord is floating a lot of food over here, which is a problem.
If Kasva had noticed that right away, I think he gets a lot of good hits on that horseman with the archers, and then he can wait for his spearman and just build up a 2nd ram. But unfortunately, he was kind of focused on something else, and he lost a couple archer numbers there. And now MarineLord has a competitive number of horsemen, and MarineLord is going to be heading in here with the horsemen and with the villagers, looking to take out those rams, hitting the spearmen with his villagers, and the horsemen are diving against the archers.
Villagers are very cheap here for MarineLord, so it's probably worth it for him to just stall this push out, although that's way too many spearmen to deal with. And with the mining camp going down, Golden Age is also gone for MarineLord. And look at his food income. There is none, which means that he can't really mass a lot of horsemen floating a lot of food, but what can he do with that without wood?
Yeah, and the House of Wisdom is completely exposed over here at the front. There's going to be 2 rams hitting it. MarineLorD forced to build up more behind this and forced to take the straggler trees at the back with a whole lot of villagers to get wood.
That's a very, very sad straggler tree out there. He finally gets a market up so he can start balancing his eco, but I feel like with all the damage done here, Casva accomplished what he wanted, because now that 2TC boom from MarineLorD is broken.
Yep. And at any point behind this, Kasva could just send a couple to stone himself and maybe add a second TC. I mean, he's done quite a bit of damage. MarineLorD still building up military. Kasva sees him moving to that right side. He has a scout over there, so he's going to get vision on this. Still, MarineLorD is like leaving his 2 most important buildings exposed at the front there. So he can't camp here forever. He's going to try and build up military and then jump on this. But if the House of Wisdom and the town center go down, he's dead. So there is a bit of a priority for him to defend this area.
Absolutely. There are the villagers being pulled. And at this point, when you're using those rams, you're not even trying to kill the buildings. You're just trying to force your opponent to pull vills, and you pick off those villagers out there.
Ooh, Kasva's kind of stalling out military production now. He's getting phalanx in right now, so his spearmen will have extra range. But a lot of his buildings weren't producing for a while there, and this might give the time that MarineLorD needs to build up enough horsemen to push him back.
Yeah, we're looking at 14 horsemen, although Kasva's got quite a lot of hardened spearmen with phalanx, and what I love is that he's got some spearmen hidden in the rams. So...
Oh, and MarineLorD's economy just can't decide where to go, Lita. He was on the gold, he was on the wood, now he's pulling them all away. What is he thinking of doing here as he goes back to the wood on the front again?
Yeah, that's the problem that he's facing. He's actually lucky that Kasva didn't just push that House of Wisdom down and then just go for the starting TC, because you could just go that, or go for that right now for Kasva. Looks like he's changing the angle of attack.
I think at this point, it's just pure military production from Kasva. So one thing you got to pay attention to, just keep units coming forward. Don't give MarineLorD any opportunity to get back in this game. MarineLorD is actually looping around the other side, which is a great play. He's trying to cut off the reinforcements from Kasva. But Kasva is still pushing here with this main army. And there's going to be no response from MarineLorD. Only 4 archers for him behind.
I feel like Kasva will be more than happy to take 3 or 4 archer losses here in exchange for potentially destroying that town center at the back.
Yep. Rams coming in. The archers from MarineLorD are there. They're going to try and take out the spearmen. Kasva attacking the TC with archers needs to change targets and does. And here come the horsemen from MarineLorD.
But the spearmen are bracing, and there's 9 spearmen inside that ram. They pop out.
It should be Kasva's game at this point. MarineLorD just lost a bunch of his military. Kasva still has 3 rams here hitting the TC. He's still got archers. He's still got more units on the way. MarineLorD did somewhat finish the wall at the front, so Kasva needs to break through again, but he cannot deal with that army at the back. This is going to be a 3-2 for Kasva coming up.
It looks like it. 1 TC is down, the berry villagers are gone, and look at the food economy of MarineLorD. It's non-existent. There is no more sheep left, no more berries, and those rams are dangerously close to the 2 landmarks that Kasva needs to destroy.
And Kasva keeps putting the spearmen in the rams too. So MarineLorD's thinking like, oh, maybe I can take an engagement against those archers. But meanwhile, Kasva with like 11 spearmen, or sorry, 14 spearmen garrison inside the rams. It's really good stuff from him. He can just pop them out at any moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's deception tactics. Because
it's over.
MarineLorD is like, okay, I'm gonna jump these archers, but that's not the case, and yeah, at this point, MarineLorD is pretty much out of army. Kasva's gonna slaughter all those horsemen, and this should be free too.
Yep, and Kasva takes his 3rd win. Oh boy, we're going to a game number 6 here, and MarineLorD is behind, and this is how you punish the boom. If MarineLorD had those walls up a little bit earlier, Lita, like 10 seconds earlier, I think he survives there. He gets his time, right? But Kasva was able to deny that and able to get a great position on the front of his base.
Absolutely. The thing is that MarineLorD needed the horsemen earlier to clean up those first few archers, while there weren't really a lot of spearmen. But because the walls weren't finished, the wood line was pushed by the archers, so MarineLorD simply couldn't afford the stables, and We have been doubting Kasva's strategy choices over here for some games now, and it turns out that he is the strategic mastermind in this set so far.